On this week's episode of Capital City Sports, baseball takes on Davidson and Alabama. This is Capital City Sports. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Capital City Sports. I'm your host, Jeremy Urso. This past Tuesday, the baseball team took on Davidson. Our colleague Haley Anders was there, and we sent it to her for the highlight.
John Dowdy jumping in for Haley Anders here as the Gamecocks took on the Davidson Wildcats in a midweek game. Reed Scott took the mound looking to pick up his second win in as many starts. He would be on point as he would scatter 5 hits over 4 innings without letting up a run, only issuing 1 walk and striking out 1. Marcus Mooney would get the Gamecocks going in the 3rd inning, hitting a double down the first base line, bringing around Tanner English to put the Gamecocks up 1-0 early. To the 6th inning, Grayson Griner pulls a double down the left field line, scoring Joey Pancake and sparking a rally for the Gamecocks. Patrick Harrington would follow with a grounder to first that he would beat out for an infield single, allowing Kyle Martin to score. Next batter, it's DC Arendis dropping a bunt down the line for another infield single, scoring Griner. And finally, freshman Gene Cohn would cap off a 6-run 6th inning with the 2 RBI fielder's choice on what should have been a routine double play. Gamecocks lead 7-0 after the 6th. Hunter Privet would come on in the 9th and record the final out on a fly ball to right field. With that, the Gamecocks earned their 12th shutout on the season, defeating Davidson 8-0. For Capital City Sports, this is John Dowdy.
This past Friday, the baseball team took on Alabama. Let's send it to Brett Williams, who has your highlight.
2 SEC baseball contenders met tonight here at Carolina Stadium as 8th-ranked South Carolina welcomed number 17 Alabama to town for the beginning of a weekend series. The Gamecocks came into the game 32-10 on the season, 10-8 in conference play, which is good for 2nd in the SEC East. They were looking to build upon last weekend's series victory at Auburn. Tonight's starting pitcher Jordan Montgomery picked up the lone loss for Carolina last weekend, but he still put on a great performance, allowing just 4 hits and working a full 9 innings for the first time all season. Against him on the mound tonight was Spencer Turnbull, who came in with a 2.14 ERA and looked to maintain for the Crimson Tide, leaders of the SEC West. Let's take it to the highlight.
The Gamecocks got pumped up before the game and wasted no time getting on the board. We pick it up at the bottom of the first, Alabama leading 1-0. Kyle Martin hits what looks to be a routine ground ball, but Chance Vincent throws it into right field. And that allows Marcus Mooney to come home, and it ties the game. The very next batter is Grayson Griner, and he gets it done. Nice play at second here by Kyle Overstreet. But Gene Cohn would score on the sacrifice, and it's 2-1 Carolina. Alabama would tie it up in the 3rd as shortstop Mikey White takes this 2-1 pitch out over the left field fence. That's White's 3rd home run of the year, but it would be all South Carolina starting in the 4th. Tanner English starts it off by getting this one through. And Grayson Griner hustling around the bases, and he would beat the throw home, sliding in to give the Gamecocks the lead back. And then 2 batters later, the bases are loaded for Gene Cohn, and the freshman would deliver. Down the right field line, and Alabama didn't like the call. They thought it should be foul, but the umpire rules it fair, and all the runners come around to score. It's a bases-clearing triple for Gene Cohn. 6-2, the Gamecocks lead it. Meanwhile, Jordan Montgomery was fantastic on the mound. He pitched 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs and struck out 8. That last victim was Will Haney, and he gets Wade Wass to fan on that one here. They take it to the 8th inning. As always, the dugout enjoys Grayson Griner's walk-up song. And really, why not? Junior catcher takes this one deep off of Mitch Greer. Get out of here. That's his 5th home run of the season, and it makes it 7-2 South Carolina. take another look at it. Greer's pitch hangs in the heart of the strike zone a bit too long, and Griner makes him pay. Got to look closely at this next one. It would be a top play of the month nominee if it was South Carolina. But a nice 4-6-3 backhanded glove flip by Alabama to get out of the 8th. The Tide would also tack on a run in the top of the 9th, but it would be too little too late. And the Gamecocks strike first in the series. South Carolina 9, Alabama 3, your final.
After the game, head coach Chad Holbrook spoke about the magnitude of this win and how his pitching staff helped lead the Gamecocks to victory.
I was proud of Jordan Montgomery. He battled his rear end off. That team can hit. I mean, that team can hit. And I didn't feel comfortable there at all with a 4-run lead. I'm glad we got 3 in the 8th. That made me catch my breath. But I still wasn't as comfortable enough to take Joel Seddon out of the game. And that's one thing Coach asked me, did you consider it? Yeah, I considered it, but these games are too important. They only get 30, and you're playing a team that can really hit. And you got to win the first one before you can win the series, and I didn't want to take him out of the game.
A big win for South Carolina against a quality opponent, and they'll have a chance to do it again tomorrow. First pitch of Game 2 of the series is set for 2 p.m., and the Gamecocks will send Jack Wynkoop to the mound as they look to charge to the top of the SEC. Reporting from Carolina Stadium, I'm Brett Williams, Capital City Sports.
However, the baseball team would lose on Saturday. Could they win on Sunday? Let's take a look at the highlight.
The Gamecocks took on Alabama in the final game of a 3-day weekend series. After beating Alabama 9-3 on Friday, the Gamecocks bats fell asleep yesterday as they fell 2-1 to the Crimson Tide. With the series tied at 1-1, the Gamecocks look to bounce back and win the series today. Let's take a look at the highlight. ESPN on hand this afternoon for SC and Alabama. We pick it up bottom first. Joey Pancake doubles to right center. That would score Marcus Mooney and put the Gamecocks on the board first, 1-0. Then in the 4th, Gore singles up the middle to score Taylor Widener. Things looking good as they go up 3-0. But Carolina has had some trouble maintaining leads in games. Here, Georgial Salem gets the RBI shot in the 5th to tie the game up at 3-all. But this time, the Gamecocks would regain the lead as Kyle Martin gets the RBI single to go up 6-3 in the 6th. He had a big day with 4 hits and 2 RBIs. And then DC Arenas adding a little insurance here to finish off Alabama, scoring Carolina's 9th run of the game. The Gamecocks defeat Alabama 9-3 and clinch the series victory 2-1. An excellent showing for the Gamecocks, giving them much-needed momentum in the SEC. Next up, the team travels to Georgia for another weekend series. From Carolina Stadium, I'm Blake Lipton.
That's going to be it for this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV. From all of us here at Capital City Sports, thank you and make it a great summer, because that is the bottom line.